Have you ever wondered how many dead children are in each indie RPG Maker game? No, the answer is no. But as a goddamn sociopath, the answer is yes for me. So I decided to rank every RPG Maker game I've played and separate them into tiers based on how many dead children they have. The tiers are in order 0, lame, 1, 2 or 3, a bit, a lot, and too fucking many. The games I'm counting for this is every RPG Maker or RPG Maker like game. Basically, any sort of indie RPG I've played. I'm also assuming the total number of dead children possible, meaning if two different endings have a different number of dead children, they'll be combined as long as they are different characters, as people can't exactly die twice. I'm also only going to be counting the ones that died during the game's timeline. What I mean by this is every event that takes place from the moment you open the game to the moment you close it will be considered, even if the event isn't shown, although they have to be confirmed to die if it isn't on screen. And lastly, an obvious major spoiler warning for all these games. First up, Off. For a game as dark as it is, it has a surprisingly low dead child count. The only child confirmed to die is Hugo, and you could argue the Elsen are children, but we don't know how old the clones are, and I'm assuming a child didn't invent a device to clone himself hundreds of times, so there's only one dead child. But Mortis said he would try harder the next time, so you have that to look forward to. Also, as far as I can tell, every off fan game has either 0 or 1 dead child, which is also Hugo. Next up is Grimm's Hollow. This one is extremely simple. Both Timmy and Lavender die in one of the secret endings, and although the number varies in other endings, they're still the same people, so it only counts as 2. Following that is One Shot, and oh boy, there's quite a few. Considering the game is not as mature as some other ones, this game has a surprisingly large amount of children that die. In the Return Home ending, you kill all of the world's inhabitants, which is quite a lot. Although it's not an entire planet's worth of population, it's still a lot. You could argue that these aren't children, but instead robots as the part of the world machine, but that's lame as hell, and besides, they're still based off children, so it counts. But that's not all! In the original 2014 version of the game, and yes, I am counting it, it's possible to kill Nico by closing the game. It doesn't bump it up a tier, but it's still noteworthy enough to mention. So yeah, there's quite a bit. And next up is Hylics, which is extremely disappointing. There are absolutely 0 dead children in the game, and in fact, there aren't even any children at all. Exact same with Hylics 2. You really suck at infanticide, Mason. The next game on our list is Undertale, which is extremely simple. All 6 of the human souls were from children, who all died. There's also Kara for the 7th one. You might say this breaks the 3rd rule as they don't die during the timeline, but I'm willing to make an exception due to how critical it is to the lore of the game. And also Kara was the human in the intro cutscene, and they fell down first, so it actually is in the timeline of the game. Take that, liberals. Next is Deltarune with one chicken who got put in the KFC deep fryer because he's annoying. Undertale Yellow also has Clover Die, and this next point applies to all 3 of these games, but I'm not counting monster children. Only true red-blooded humans. I know I'm being xenophobic, but look at this video's title. Anyway, it's still only 1 because it doesn't show the other humans in the prologue. The following game is Omori, and this one's complicated for one question. Is Mari a child? I spent quite a bit debating on this, but I eventually decided that it counts as she is under 18 and minors are usually considered children. There's also the bad ending where Sunny jumps off a fucking building to test if fall damage is a thing in this game. People don't exactly live from a height this far, so yeah, he's dead. Yuminiki's next. This one is simple as Matatsuki also jumps off a building, much like Sunny, but we actually see the body this time, so it's actually confirmed. Yeek sucks. And because Yeek sucks, it has 0 dead children. Rory's sister doesn't count because no one cares about her. I don't know if IV changed it at all because I won't play it. Fuck you, Todd Howard. And lastly is Space Funeral. Despite Philip being soaked with tears, he is an adult, albeit a man-child, but they don't count because they're losers. Same with 2 and 3, although I can't finish 3 due to some missing files, so if there are, let me know in the comments. And that's all the games with no exception, right? Alright, let me set the perspective for Lisa the Painful. There's this funny little event called The Flash, which did this quirky little thing that killed every single woman on the planet. According to Google, there are about 2 billion children currently on Earth, and if we just assume half of them are females because I'm lazy, we get a total of 1 billion dead children. And yes, this is in the game's timeline because there's a prologue where you see Brad as a child, and this is before the Flash happens. Christ, man, that's a lot. Oh, there's also the orphanage scene with the gasoline bucket, but that barely matters. Same with Lisa hanging herself. This game is the entire reason I made the too fucking many tier, because come on, man. Alright, now we're done with it. No! No! Okay, basically in Change, all of humanity is fucking dead thanks to someone who really likes Plague Inc. These events do not happen during the game's timeline, and in fact, this game is the entire reason I made the timeline rule, because I refuse to let a fetish game be at the top of the list where there's games where you destroy the entire world or beat the shit out of a pedophile to get shampoo.